What we're going to talk about today, or what I'm going to chat about, is something not a lot of people talk about, is how to actually heal. Like, what are you supposed to heal? We all know that you're supposed to heal your inner masculine and feminine when you're a twin flame, but like, where do you even begin with cleaning this stuff up? How do you know where to start with? What is there even to clear as a twin? The first thing you can do, and you may or may not know this already, but I picked this page of this adult coloring book for a reason. It says, I'm a direct descendant of badassery. So really, when you think about what is a twin flame in general, what you want to think about is, what is your lineage? Okay, so there's a lot of twin flames and other advanced souls that incarnate into difficult lineages. Like you might have, and your twin might be of the opposite. So if you are from countries that battle each other all the time, going back for millennia, then that's part of your twin flame journey and your mission. So that's really what the whole point of the video is not just where do you heal for yourself so that you can get into twin flame union or inner union, which I'm always more interested in on this YouTube channel. But really, if you start diving into your templates, that's really the word I use, is templates. What templates were you born into? What templates do your family have? What's your genealogy? Because really, when you get down to it, most people, when you get past the me and my twin narrative, which is what most people are peddling online, is like this Disney princess happily ever after love relationship. When you get past all of that, what you're looking at is ancestral trauma. It's, you're looking at collective societal trauma, right? Women versus men, black versus white, Jewish versus everybody. I mean, when you really look through and look at that, that's where you can really find the little seeds of your own twin flame journey and what you personally are here to heal. So there's a lot of us that are actual twin flames. We see that it's so much bigger than us. It's so much bigger than this Hollywood romance that most people are peddling online. Most people are just talking about how to get into union in your twin flame with your twin flame as a relationship, but that's actually very small. That's a byproduct. Honestly, it's a pretty limiting thing for you to think about. That's just one life. Playing house with somebody is just one life. What about all the lives? What about your whole, if you really believe that you're a twin flame and you're a soul that's connected to more than just you, and you're connected to your twin flame, well, then let's look at what's bigger than that. So I'll talk really quickly about what my first template that I knew that I was connected to when my twin broke up with me, because I want you to start thinking about all your little stories in your head, the little loops you go down of like, oh, why did this happen? Oh, why couldn't they just do this, that, or the other? Oh, I wish I had done X, Y, Z. If you get past that little story and that small little snippet of your loop, you can dig deeper and find out what's the nugget there that's bigger than me and bigger than this little story that I'm telling myself. It takes a lot to get there. It takes some maturity to figure this out. But you can do it if you journal it, if you look at it with curiosity, almost scientifically. That would help a lot. So for me personally, when my twin broke up with me in the beginning, after our little bubble love phase that we had, I did know right away what it was triggering, because I already knew that I had this template that I didn't like about myself. So I don't remember exactly when I put the pieces together and maybe like labeled it something, but I knew that immediately I was triggered in victim mentality, okay? And I've talked about that in other videos, but victim mentality, where that came from, I learned it. I learned it from my mother. My mother doubles down. She's still victimized by, her mother and her sister and her dad. Like, it's just like, come on, man, they're all dead. Like, when are you go to see a therapist? So that's been driving me crazy about my mother for my whole life. So I actively have been working on that my whole life. I have it as a template in me, okay? So first thing you can do is you can look at, if you're wondering like, okay, well, what can I clear up before I even meet my twin? If you know you're a twin and you haven't even met yet and you're looking forward to meeting them, maybe you've met them in the astral planes or something like that. What you can do is start looking at this stuff and preemptively clean it up. Like, if you're already divorced or you're getting divorced, like, well, what was your role in that divorce? Like, take that other person completely out of the picture. Because it honestly, none of this has anything to do with that other person, really, at the end of the day. They're really our catalyst for change and our catalyst for growth. Anybody in your life that you're having struggles with, that's what it is. So think about that. I got victim mentality from my mom, and everybody in my family has it to some degree. One of my brothers has it even worse than anybody else, and everything's everybody else's fault. Nothing, no personal responsibility. You see that a lot in the collective consciousness too, of just being American society. Like, everyone's very like, oh, what I want and what I think is right, and that's it. End of story. No other narrative matters. And there's always some enemy. There's some reason this group is wrong, and they're the ones causing all our problems. And if that group just went away, we'd have jobs. Blah blah blah. It's all us versus them, right? And victim mentality. And where's our personal responsibility about it? That's a question I'd like to ask some politicians. But anyway, so if you look at with a little bit of curiosity and see like, okay, well, what template did I have? I have that one was like the easiest one. That was a low-hanging fruit, but it's also my biggest template. Another template that I got was on my father's side. So that one was on my mother's side. And then I got one on my father's side. My father's side, that family is very judgmental about stuff they don't know anything about. They have they're very logical and rational, but to a fault, honestly. Like, there's no magic. There's no nuance. They're very, very hyper judgmental and critical about stuff and about what people should be doing with their lives. And it's all based on what they learned from their parents, right? So everything we learn, this is why I picked this descendant adult coloring book here today, is everything comes from where you can start with your healing of your twin flame journey, so you can get into union, inner union, and then outer union. Where you can start is looking at these family templates. What family template does everyone have? And I'm not looking at these to judge others in my family. It's more just I'm recognizing I have it in me. And how it helped me figure it out is that it's what drives me crazy about them. Look at yourself. If somebody's doing something and it drives you nuts, that's probably a part of you that you don't like, right? The basic psychology 101. So if you're looking at, let's go further. So, that's where you want to start with your healing, is look at your parents. What did you learn from them? Even if they were non-existent, look at that. Okay, well, what did that teach you? Another one, here's another one. I always forget about this one because I really overcame it and it never came back, which is rare. Some of these bigger templates, they'll keep rearing their head over and over and over and over and over, so you can keep cleaning them up. Like victim mentality still pops up for me quite a bit. But here's one that I cleaned up that never came back, so that's always fun, right? When I was growing up, my dad, because his family's so logical and rational, I never saw him. He worked constantly. We didn't have a lot of money, and he had like 30,000 jobs. So I didn't see him that much. So when I would have some big decision to make, like, go spend a weekend with some friends, or I don't know, whatever seemed like a big deal at the time when I was growing up as a kid, if it was big enough deal, my mom would always be like, oh, well, you have to ask your father. Well, and I always hated that immediately because he was never around. My mom knew the answers to all the questions that he was going to ask. He was going to ask me 9,000 questions that he should know the answer to if he was around. It just drove me nuts. It drove me nuts. Still does, I guess. But it was just because he didn't know any of my friends. So there was a 4,000 questions of like, oh, have you thought about this? And who's driving? And where are you going to stay? And how are you going to pay for it? And blah, blah, blah. Like, I understand that he was trying to teach us how to think critically. But what I realized in college, that was actually hurting me as a human. It was actually holding me back because my gut is very strong. My intuition always has been strong. I've always known I was different, and I always knew that wasn't for me. Um, it's hard to explain. So what it taught me, and I learned this when I got into college, was that what it taught me is if it's hard, I give up. Because most of the time what ended up happening is instead of getting interrogated by my dad about a bunch of garbage, stupid questions that he should have known the answer to, what it taught me was just don't even bother. If I had to check with him on something, I no longer wanted it. That's what it taught me. Which is not a great thing, actually, really, at the end of the day, it's not the best reaction to have, but it's what it taught me. So I had to unlearn that template. Okay, if it was hard, I gave up. So how many of you are twin flames and you want to give up on this journey? You want off the ride, you don't want to do the work, you just want to find a soulmate, you just want to find a karmic, you want to have babies, whatever it is. How many of you are in that stage? Leave me a comment below, because I guarantee you this is part of the problem, is that we did sign up for this. If you are a twin flame, you signed up for this. A lot of people aren't twin flames. Most people who are talking about it aren't, but it's much more rare than people say it is. But my point is, if you are a twin flame, you signed up for this. You knew it was going to be hard. Your soul chose this for this life. So it's better to just embrace it and get in there and do the work. And even if you're not a twin flame, if it turns out you're not, great. This is one more healed human out there in the world having babies. Awesome. Go find a karmic. Go find a soulmate. Knock yourselves out, but look at yourself and figure out, okay, what did I learn from my mom? What did I learn from my dad? Where can I heal that in myself? How can I get over it? Whether you need therapy or whatever, and then dig deeper. Once you've done those, then what? Okay, so I need to add it up. I've healed like 7,000 templates out of my ancestry. I don't even know how much I've healed. Some of it has been really, really like sneaky. I didn't even notice until I really started diving in, when I fully became awakened as a twin flame, and I learned the whole point of what it is and why we're doing this work. That's when I dove in deeper. So I'll give you a couple other examples of templates in my family that I've been like trying to heal, working on for my genealogy. One is, and this is going to sound really familiar for twin flames. One template that I saw with my grandfather and my grandmother was unrequited love. My grandparents got divorced, which was very rare for back in their era. Very rare to get divorced. But my grandfather never got over my grandmother. You never could say anything bad about her, even though she was a freaking narcissist, terrible person, self-centered, horrible, horrible person. You couldn't say anything bad about her to him. He always loved her. He never remarried. He held on forever. So, guess what I have with my twin? I'm unmarried, and I've always had this space in my heart for him, for my twin. Well, maybe it's a template I need to get rid of. Maybe it's something I can heal for. If I heal it within me and get into actual union with my twin, but that's an expectation of an outcome, so I have to watch that, right? You have to watch and make sure that you're not doing those kinds of things. You don't want to do things just to get this outcome, because there's no guarantee. But anyway, think about that is, well, there's a template I can clean up. And if I clean it up for me in my life, it's going to clean it up for my grandpa, theoretically. A lot of people think that that's what's happening. So if you believe in like the quantum realm and everything's connected, and a lot of us have seen that time is not linear. Well, if I clean this template up for me in my life, and I stop waiting for this person, and all the unrequited love aspect, well, it's also for my genealogy. I'm cleaning this up for my bloodline. And you can go backwards and forwards, because time is not linear, and we live in a quantum world. So anyway, think about that. There's a template. And on my dad's side, again, there's a template of the firstborn, being an Irish Catholic family, the firstborn going into the convent, or becoming a priest, or something at that level. Well, if I look deeply, I'm like, oh, that's a template. Let me look. Yep, my aunt was a nun. My sister works for the church and is not married, and she's basically a nun. She doesn't make a ton of money, and she works for the church, and her whole life is that. So there's a template. She's the firstborn, and she's working for the church. Isn't that interesting? So like dig around your own family tree and see where there's repeating patterns. That's the key. What repeating patterns are there? And I guarantee you that this is going to come up in your twin flame journey at some point. It's bigger than us. It's bigger than our template. We are the cleanup crew for our whole genealogy, all of it. So the way I look at the things is that our soul comes into the body when we're in vitro or in utero, and we pick up our genetic template. So we have our soul genealogy, and we have our bodily, our 3D genealogy. So I'm related to my parents, even if you don't know who they are. You still can do this work by look at what drives you crazy about other people. And I'm sure your original parents, like if you're adopted, I'm sure they have it. So look at your genetic makeup. Like, where's your family heritage? You know, get a DNA test and find out, okay, are you white? Are you from India? Okay, what part? What are the collective templates? So you just dive in, like, look at it scientifically, look at it with curiosity, and think bigger. It's bigger than you. It's bigger than your twin. It's bigger than a 3D romantic relationship with your twin. Anybody who still thinks that that's the point of it is missing the point, and they're probably not even a twin flame. So anyway, that's where to start in your healing. I would say look at your templates in your family and see where you can clean them up. Look at things that drive you crazy about other people. See where you can clean those up. All right, I hope this helps you look at templates and how you can clean them up. And you really, like, this is where also you can talk to your guides. Just ask them, you know. The other thing is, if you want something very specific to you and your twin, let me get in this real quick before we say goodbye. So if this is resonating and you know what I'm talking about, leave a comment below. I want to hear from you. It helps my channel get found by other people, first of all, but also I'm just really curious because I feel very alone in this journey, obviously, and I would love to hear from others. So leave me a comment, and if you're new here, hit subscribe with that little bell icon, and you'll get notified when I have new videos that pop up. I do monthly twin flame union readings on tarot, just so you can like see where the masculine feminine energy is at the moment. And then I do these kinds of channel messages based on my 30 years of twin flame unions and separations. Okay, so the other thing I want to talk about with templates, the last thing I want to talk about is your template with your twin flame. So again, if you ascribe to the higher purpose of twin flames, think about that we're here to clean up templates just in general, right? So look at what happened with your twin flame. When you broke up, what was going on? What's the template there? If you strip away your emotion and you look at it as a template, you'll see very easily what that dynamic was. So for example, my twin already had a girlfriend and I didn't know it. So what template is that? Okay, once I got past the victim mentality of like, oh, why is this happening to me again? This already happened to me, my high school boyfriend, blah, blah, blah. Once I got past me and my ego and my own crying about it, what's the template? Well, cheating, right? Men have been cheaters women cheat too, don't get me wrong, but men have been cheaters for eons and eons and eons and eons, right? Cheating is like very, very common. It's more common than people talk about, because that's not going on Instagram. What's going on behind the scenes? So I'm still shocked that my twin did that. He actively pursued me when he was not single, and I did not know, and it put me in a really shitty position, obviously, because then I became the other woman. So there's two templates: cheating men and the other woman. Okay, and this was a template that I've had to go through over and over in my life. It's one of my biggest templates, similar to victim mentality, of my being second choice or my being the other woman, has been a template over and over and over and over in my life that I've had to work on and learn how to say no, That, yes, you need to get out of your relationship before you date me. And with my twin, I didn't even know. So that was horrible. So that's a template that we are here to clean up, right? The cheating template. So look at your twin and look and see, well, what was it? And look at it curiosity wise. Okay, so for me, cheating. So with my twin and I, that's probably our template that's going to be a joint mission. I think our joint mission, when we finally get to work together properly in the 3D, is going to be something about that. Something about what is real love, what's a real relationship, and more importantly, what all twins are here doing is redefining what a relationship is. It used to be raising kids because you needed to protect your children from bears and tigers and whatever dangers of the world. It was very important to pass on our genealogy, but now you don't even need another person really to have a baby. So I think twin flames are here at a pivotal point in the world and as humans, human evolution. So we're here to also redefine what a relationship is. Okay, which is why I'm always talking about, don't try to fit it into this Hollywood romance, because that's not the point. That's such a small way of looking at it. And I'll just leave it there. I have another video on my channel about that. So if you're interested in finding out more of what the heck I'm talking about, I'll link to that video at the end of this one. You can check it out on my Twin Flame Journey playlist. So anyway, think about that. Like, that's how small it is. And for me and my twin, I have a feeling that that's our joint mission together, is to redefine relationship and how can we make a new template that's not just marriage, kids, 401k, grandparents, retirement account, all that stuff. How can we redefine it and make it bigger and better and more modern? A more modern partnership, a real partnership. A lot of marriages are not partnerships. Not really. Not when you get under the hood and get to know them. They're usually not real partnerships. There's always one person driving the bus, and the other one just goes along with the ride. So anyway, leave me a comment of what resonates. I want to know if you know what your templates are in your family or with your twin flame. And then obviously, if this resonates with you, I want to hear about it, and hit that like button because it helps the channel get found. I appreciate that. It's a cheap and easy, or a free way to support the channel. And I hope it helps. So I will see you in the next one. Just look through your genealogy. You can clean out all this stuff. We are so powerful as twin flames. Once you recognize this template, you can go and actually ask archangels and lords of karma and all these beings to clean it out of your template, out of your ancestry. Like, go through your dad's side and clean it out for every man. Go through your dad's side and clean it out for every woman. Go through your mom's side and clean it out of the feminine template, out of the entire genealogy of your whole lineage. This is the power that we have. You will feel it. You will physically feel it. I spent the last 2 years doing all of that, and I feel like 900 pounds lighter. And I'm seeing shifts in my immediate family, just random shifts of energy. I'm seeing that things are lightening up for them. Just so go with curiosity and look at your twin flame and what was it that happened between you, and how can you go further? How can you get away from just the two of you? What template are you enacting there? There's a lot of just generic templates that we are just playing out like we're on stage in a play. And then look at your family and your parents and your grandparents and your siblings, and look and see in your aunts and uncles and see what's the template there. Is it following the church no matter what? Is it avoiding? There's just so many. I can't even list them all. So let me know down below what your family template is. Start with your parents. What did you learn from your dad? What did you learn from your mom that's holding you back? Clean that up, and then you're going to see something else will pop up. All right? Okay, thanks for watching. I will see you in the next one. Bye.